everybody. Hope everyone's doing well. Today is May 26, 2023, and we're going to do a Let's Talk video. I was going to put this in the vlog. You've already seen the vlog. By the time you see this, you've already seen the vlog. I'll put the link here. I was going to put this into the vlog. Okay, in that vlog, I mentioned, today is Friday. I had mentioned this on Wednesday, that something happened during the weekend. Okay, that was really, really hard. And that I was going to talk about it. But I decided to go ahead and do a separate video. First of all, because my vlogs are very, very long as it is. But also because it's hard. I don't want to talk about this and then go to the next clip. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to do that. I want to talk about it and then have a little bit of a discussion about it. And then also give you a little bit of conclusion. And then let that be the video. First of all, before I say anything about this, I want to make sure that I sort of let you guys know why I'm talking about it. I decided to do this on YouTube, okay? I call it my health quest because I'm on a quest for complete health, but mainly to find less stress in my life, because it's going to be the stress that I reduce in my life that is going to give me optimal health. Because I can do the dieting. I can do the exercises, guys. That is not a problem for me. Because what I eat in my day, even if I eat out, even if I say I'm on keto and then I have one day of a cheat day, you know, I'm not here measuring my ketones. I'm not doing that. I'm just lowering my carbs, okay, to reduce inflammation. But nothing that I eat in a regular day constitute the gaining, especially lately. It's been a pound, 2 pound, 3 pound, up battle. Any other time of my life, doing what I'm doing now, I wouldn't be that high. I would be on the downward. Because I'm ready. You know, at 54 years old, menopausal, I know I am ready with my food, with my exercise, but it's this darn stress. And just a brief background, I've always been a stressed person. My childhood was immensely stressed due to the adults in my life. Immensely. I've healed from that. I have, but the body is the body. I've always said that and if it continues to stress, it's just one battle after another. And now at 54, I'm still very stressed because of what's going on around me. And because I decided to do this on YouTube, I've decided to be more open with what affects me. Now, obviously, the things that I talk about in terms of my children off camera, they're priority, right? I don't care how old my kids are. They're priority. I'm there for them. But when I bring to you guys is just a very, 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 very condensed version without details of what's going on in my life to share with you guys that I am very stressed, and that shows on my belly fat and on the scale consequently. I am so overweight, but not because of what I'm eating, not because of lack of movement, not because of lack of exercise. And I'm very careful with exercise. I do it in such a way that it's not overstressing the body, but it's toning my muscles, right? With my bands exercise and everything else. So I hope that kind of gives a little bit of the reasoning why I'm doing it. But I don't want you to think that I'm here because I just want to divulge personal information. It's not. If you guys been with me for a while, I've never done that. Never. But I really want to do this journey with you guys, but I want to do it more open, but being very, very careful. So number one, I'm going to talk about the main reason why I'm doing this video, but number one, you guys know I'm dealing with something very personal as it is, and I'm seeking counseling with my priest. That you guys are going to hear more details about it later, okay? You will be. I'm going to tell you guys what's been going on, but right now I can't because I'm in the middle of it. My oldest son, Aaron, is going through a battle of his own, which affects me because this is what he's going through. Okay, this is where I gotta be careful. What he's going through is very crucial to his daughter. And it's not easy. It's not a typical situation that you might hear out there, if you know what I mean. It's not. It goes deeper, much, much deeper. It does. And I will talk about that as well. I'll give you when I see things resolving itself, I will be able to come on here and say, this is what it was directly. I think a lot of you guys are getting it, but directly and this was the circumstances behind it, without giving specific details, because there wouldn't be any need for that. And just to give you guys, a little bit more general information. This past weekend on Sunday night, I was struggling, and I'm going to mention something, but at the end, I'm going to tell you a resolve with that, okay? But just hear me out. I was trying to put my grandbaby down. Well, my son was. And I'm telling you this because I'm trying to give you the environment that it was here that night. My grandbaby was fighting it. When she's here, I try to put her in, and I say I because I help my son, put her in a schedule. But it's difficult because she doesn't live here full time. But I know what's best for a 2.5-year-old. Do you know what I mean? They need to sleep, but she fights it. And so when she fights it a while, right? She knows she can get my son. And so my son will be like, okay, let's go out. We'll watch some TV 5 more minutes. So when I walked downstairs and I saw this, it was already 10 o'clock at night. And I said, honey, she needs to go to bed, but mom, she doesn't want to go to bed. Anyway, I got her into the room. Okay, I did. I took over. I put her in the bed. She didn't. She tried to fight me, like she kicks, but she don't with grandma. But then my son walks in the room. My son walks in the room and he says, "Mom, I'll just lay with her." Da 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 da. And I will explain what happened at the end there. I said, "Okay, I'm not going to argue in front of a two-year-old. Tensions were high. Everybody was tired." I came outside and I was sitting in the family room and I was just sort of sitting there. And at this point, my son Aiden comes downstairs and he just didn't look like my son Aiden. Like you could tell his mind was somewhere. I said, "Oh, hey." He goes, "The baby." At that time, the baby was still screaming. And I said, "I'm sitting here, I'm waiting because if she doesn't stop, I'm going to go in there again." And he's like, he started talking to me, whatever. He got his protein shake, right? Because he was going to go to the gym. He puts his protein shake down. He was with me for only maybe 4 minutes. He goes outside with his protein shake to go to his car. But somehow he left his protein shake on the bistro set we have in the front yard. And he comes back in and he's making a protein shake. I look over and I'm like, he just made a protein shake. So I go talk to him and I said, no, he comes towards us. My husband was sitting there. He comes towards us and he's like, I said, you made a protein shake already. What's going on? He's like, "Oh, I did, huh?" I said, "Yeah, you did." He was so distracted, right? And she's screaming. So my husband, I tell him, my son kind of went back into the kitchen. I told my husband, I go, "Something's up with him. Go with him. I'm going to stay here." So they go to the front yard because my grandbaby's screaming. They go to the front yard where the bistro set was and they start talking. I thought, okay. So then I didn't hear anything. My grandbaby's finally out. I text my son. I said, "What's going on?" He's off. "She's out, Mom." Okay. That is controlled. I go towards the front door. I was going to go out there and I thought, you know what? No, maybe this is something that he needs to speak to Dad, man to man. So I proceed to go upstairs. I thought, let me wait here. So I sit at the very top. I'm just sitting there on my phone, just, waiting, just to see. And an hour, I'm like, oh, wait a minute. So I go back downstairs And I go by the door, and at this point, I open the door. My husband's coming in. He's like, I got him. Just go inside. But the dog was outside. He wanted to let the dog in, and I just happened to be at the door. I said, what's going on? He says, just go up there. I'll let you know. So I come upstairs. I sit at the stairs. Now I'm stressed. Now I'm worried. Okay, now let me just hold that thought there. Just to let you know, I knew something was up with my son. I've known for months, that something was going on, because I saw a change in him, a tremendous change. So much so that his room became messy, like really, really messy, like messy, like bad. And I would go in there and I would be like, hey, your room, da-da-da. Oh, I got it, Mom. I'll do it, Mom. I'll do it. I'm sorry. I apologize. I said, well, just clean it up. His car, he started telling me things about his job, like people don't like him there. And I just saw he used to be vegetarian for years. He's 21. For years, he started eating meat, which in itself is fine. But when you see like da-da-da-da-da-da-da, right? So I had been telling my husband, I said, something is up with him. I said, that bedroom is a reflection of what's going on inside, right? Because one thing is that your child always kept a messy house or a messy room. But sometimes, you've always kind of battled that, right? You know what I mean? That's not him. So you see these major changes. Anyways, so just know that I've known something was up. And I did try to talk to my kid. I did. Many times I would say, hey, what's going on? You can tell me, you can talk to me, The other thing about my son is that he's always been that very mature child. Even his teachers at 13 years of age, when I would talk to his teachers, 12 years of age, he's so mature. Oh my God, his thinking is that of a da-da-da-da-da-da. You know what I mean? He's beyond his years. Like, he's so mature. He worked since he was 16 years of age. And at 16, he started buying his own groceries. And I would tell him, just buy your snacks. You don't have to buy your groceries. But because he was vegetarian, and I was like, okay. But if you ever need anything, I remember telling him I would buy it. And he'd be like, no, Mom, I'm working now. He started buying his own clothes. He started, this and that. You know what I mean? And so he's always come off very mature. But I will say this, for me as a parent, I think that where I missed a mark when it comes to that is that you see them so mature, but they're really only 15, 14, 16. You know what I mean? So that came up later. But I've noticed, guys, if I tell you a year, I've seen a decline in him. Major. Pretty much since we moved here. Just slow. Just slow. And recently, I said, because I talked to him about his school. And I said, I think I even made a video where I said to him, I was telling you an update of my life and my children. And I mentioned Aiden. I said, he's at a crossroads. I even said that in the video. It was a story time video where I said, he's just trying to figure things out. He's at a crossroads, but he's going to school. He's got a full-time job. He's going to the gym. And was all true. That was all true. And so I just didn't say how much I seen the decline. So when recently, I asked him, I said, hey, you should be finishing up your semester. You should be close to graduating. He said, I don't want to talk about it, Mom. I said, okay. And I knew, guys. I mean, I've known, but I really knew. Now we're going to go back to Sunday night. Baby's asleep. They're out there talking. Now we're going on hour and 40 minutes. I hear screaming. Like, not screaming. Crying. Uncontrollable crying. Like, uncontrollable. At first, being way up here in my room, I was right out off the doors here, sitting on the top of the stairs. I'm thinking, is that my grandbaby again? Because when she screams, loud. And no, it was my son. And that was it for me. I went down there. I went outside. I said, what's going on? And I thought, you know what? I saw a son who was just bawling and bawling and bawling. And I thought, okay, I'm not going to get nothing out of him right now. I told my husband, okay, I need you to have him take a shower just to cool him off, just to relax him. So he didn't want to go upstairs. He didn't want to come in the house. He didn't want nobody to, nothing. Make the long story short, we got him in the shower, finally got him in my room. And I got this chair and I sat right in front of him and I said, you are going to tell me. And he was like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I said, yes, you are. He goes, no. And here's where his thing is. He thought that because he didn't tell me on his own accord that I was going to look down on him. Because I've always looked at him as a mature, very mature. But because if he opens up while he's in that mode, then he let me down. Wow, guys. And so I said, no way. So he ends up telling me one big thing and then a lot of little things that were in here. And we're really just taking him to a very, very dark place. 4:00 in the morning, I finally get it all out of him. Just breaks down. And then we just start talking and talking and talking. The other component to that, which is something that we're going to talk about, him and I, he's been an atheist, but maybe an agnostic. I've known this for years. And I always pray for my children. I do. But he did say, I'm willing to listen. Now, this was way after everything. Because I did bring up Christ. I did. I got him to want to know. So we're going to be having discussions and things like that when it comes to that. And I even talked to him today about it and say, just have an open mind. Okay? Just have an open mind. And all he needs is a little crack. That's all he needs. And you're going to be okay. And he goes, your faith is really big, Mom. I said, because I know Jesus. I know him. And so will you. And so I'm not worried. I'm not. So we're going to have conversations and talks. And now, after all of that, we did get him some help. And he's already been in help. He's already had his first session and already scheduled for his second session. It's going to be weekly. One of the things that I told him, because he was so sure after he told me everything and after things calmed down, he says, I'm going to wake up this morning. And it was 4:30 in the morning, guys. He told me, I know I'm going to wake up, Mom, and I'm going to regret telling you everything. Not because of you guys, but because I let you down. I said, quite the opposite. I said, you're going to wake up and you're going to feel like such a burden has been lifted off of you. Quite the opposite. Mark my words. And he was adamant that no, And so this was already into Monday morning, right? 4:30 in the morning. I finally heard him snoring around 5:15. He knocks on my door around 8:30 in the morning. I thought, I was so beat tired. He walks in and he just looks at me and he says, I feel lighter, Mom. I said, this is just the beginning, honey. You're going to heal. So he's already healing. I told him with counseling, some days you want to do it, some days you don't, because it's peeling a lot of stuff for you. You know what I mean? You're going to deal with feelings that maybe you don't want to deal with that day, or you don't want to hear some things, but you just keep going. For my daughter's graduation, he went, and then he started saying, Mom, I'm finishing up my schooling, and I can't wait. And he went and cleaned his car. I mean, it's just amazing. So that was a lot. Now back to my stress. Okay, now we're going to go back to me. Just to take you on this journey with everything else going on. Wow. Guys, I was so stressed that I don't know, guys. I just had to pray. These are the things that affect me. These are the things that, do you imagine the amount of cortisol just that night? Menopausal? You guys, when I say that I'm trying, I mean that I'm trying. I really am. Okay, back to my oldest and his little girl. Monday night, once everything settled, my son took it easy. My Aiden, he took it easy that day, I remember. But he felt really, really good. Today's Friday, so that particular day he was sort of somber. He was tired too, because we were, up, that morning. But I was exhausted. I remember being very, very exhausted. And once again, we had to put my little girl down on Monday night. I just got off of all this, right? No sleep. Monday night, we had to put her to bed again. I told my son, I said, just bedtime. Didn't work out again. Once again, I took over, put her in the bed. Once again, comes in. So this time, grandbaby was asleep before 9. I was in here, guys, bawling out, crying, exhausted, praying. I heard a knock on my door. He comes in and he says, "Can I talk to you, Mom?" And I thought, oh, he's going to let me have it, He's going to let me have it. He never, we're very close. Him and I are very close. My oldest and I are very, very close. I'm close with all my kids. But with him, because there was a divorce with his dad really kind of at the beginning wasn't really around. It's just me, him, and he always looked at the main figures of his life was me and my mom. My mom was his mom too. And so, but I just, you just don't know, because that's his baby, Anyway, he walks in the door and he says, "I need to talk to you, Mom. I need to talk to you." I said, "Okay." Sat down. I thought, here we go. First of all, he says, "You're going through a lot, Mom. A lot." I said, "Yes, I am." He goes, "Not just now, the thing with Aiden, but your personal issue." He knows what it is. "And I see that you're working really hard on everything, Mom, and how you were up with him." He goes, "I got up a couple of times, Mom, and I heard you guys still talking." I said, Yep, and I'll do it again. Because my personal problem, I'm really fighting for too. So he says, "Come here, I want to give you a hug." So he gives me a hug. And then he goes, "I want to talk about my daughter." I said, "Okay." He says, "I want you to know that I appreciate it when you help me. And I will, whenever you see me not doing it right, I'm going to let you do it." He goes, "But I'm learning too, Mom. And I don't want her to go home and never want to come back." And I thought, okay. I go, "She won't. She'll love you for giving her structure. Because if you don't, she's going to feel like she's going to actually feel the opposite. Insecure, because she's trying to figure it out. And we can't have a 2.5-year-old feeling like they need to figure anything out. We are the bumpers to her life." He goes, "Yes, Mom." I'm gonna work on it, but you step in any time you want because I'm gonna get it. I said you will. His situation is unique. It's very unique because it's very, his situation is very, very difficult because of parties involved that are yeah, I can't say much, but yeah. He just now he's never had his daughter over. I don't step in to his daughter and his relationship. I'm not in there stepping in like that. I'm not. He'll figure this out. He'll figure this out. But when it comes to things like that, where she is out of control because she wants what she wants, and we know better. This is my grandbaby gets really, and he is trying to and I can tell he also needed me to just in there, except he felt bad for me because I'm dealing with it. And I said, don't. If I'm dealing with that particular situation, let me deal with it. So anyway, I'm just going round and round. That's what happened. That's everything. And I'll leave it here. And I'm telling you this all because I'm trying to really bring you into this whole journey of mine, this whole quest. I'm on a quest. And these things have direct impact on me at 54, especially menopausal. And so I'm going to really be there for my family, but also and deal with this personal thing and get it resolved and be able to move forward, because these things are very, very hard right now, but they're not permanent. None of it is. And I know that. So what I'm trying to do are do the things that I can do for my body and say, okay, you're in this. I mean, I can't bury my head in the sand. I can't go away and, so I'm trying to deal with it as best as I can. So meditation is going to be very, very important. That helps me, being in church. I love being in church. I don't want to leave church. I don't. I love it. Anyways, that is everything. That's what happened. And that's why I wanted to do a whole different video, so then I can tell you more specific things. And as things progress, I will talk about these things. I will share them with you guys, and I will bring you more into my life. I think there's a good way of doing it, right? Without being just all out there. You know what I mean? I think there's a way to do it. And again, as these things start to work themselves out, I will share more of what I've been talking about. Okay. I just got to be very careful with, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I think some of you know what I mean. And my son Aiden, by the way, I told him I was making this video. Well, I asked him if I may. He said, absolutely. Tell them everything, Mom. I'm good. Tell them. I said, no, not yet. I want you to get on your way. And he goes, but I feel good. He goes, yeah, but there'll be days, honey, where you kind of go a little bit backwards. And until you get further out, we're going to be okay. And then I'll talk about it. Okay, my friends, that is everything. I will talk to you soon. Okay. And we're going to get through this. We're going to get through this.